right, fellas, show me meet up now. It's the Omaha team. We got to take care of it.
Let's go!
Right now, baby. Get in our way. Let's take care of it. Win. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Let's go to work. Here we go.
On many individual and team fronts, the 2002 campaign was one of the most successful in the history of Clemson baseball. The usual benchmarks were reached: a 17th consecutive 40-win season and a 16th consecutive NCAA tournament appearance. But the 2002 squad went where few Tiger teams have gone before. A high-octane offense was the catalyst for the explosive season as Clemson set a school record with 112 home runs. The unit was led by unanimous Player of the Year Khalil Green, who replaced Chris Benson as the school's most decorated collegiate baseball player. Green rewrote the Clemson and ACC record books. His accomplishments are too numerous to list, but the shortstop returned for his senior season to set Clemson's single-season records for home runs, RBIs, and doubles, just to name a few. Khalil was joined by juniors Michael Johnson and Jeff Baker, forming the most formidable home run trio in school history. All three shattered the previous single-season home run record of 23, with Johnson and Baker each belting 25 home runs, complementing Green's 27. The group combined for 77 home runs and 259 RBIs, the most of any three-man team in Tiger history. Baker was named a first-team All-American by Baseball America and the NCBWA, while Johnson was a second-team choice according to the ABCA. A successful team is comprised of more than just a good offense, and the 2002 Tigers were no exception. The squad set a Clemson record with 826 assists and a fielding percentage standard of .971. Center fielder Kyle Frank led the charge with an error-free season in 135 chances. Steve Reba and Matt Henry each won 10 games to lead the pitching staff, the first Tiger duo to record 10 victories in a single season since 1996. The staff also relied on a strong bullpen that set an ACC record with 26 saves. The Tigers began the season strong with a home opening sweep over number 25 Auburn. The key win was Sunday's 6-5 victory, in which Baker keyed a 4-run 8th-inning rally with a 3-run double, and Harrelson got out of a no-out bases-loaded jam to preserve the victory. Baker led the offense with a 5-for-10 performance against Auburn and was named ACC Co-Player of the Week for February 26th. Head coach Jack Leggett, who was named Region Coach of the Year for 2002, then took his team on the road for early season tests at College of Charleston and number 4, South Carolina. In Columbia, the Tigers and Gamecocks scrapped for the first of many meetings in 2002 as Clemson came away with a 9-7 victory. Johnson and Green each homered, while Harrelson went 3 1/3 innings in relief to close out the game. The teams squared off a day later in Clemson in a thrilling contest. South Carolina erased a 5-1 deficit in the 5th inning, coming back to tie the score with 2 runs in the 9th. But in the 10th inning, Khalil Green slapped a base hit to left that brought Kyle Frank racing home to the plate. The co-captain slid under the tag as Clemson triumphed 11-10 in 10 innings. The Tigers continued their strong play in a weekend series against Purdue. Steve Reba threw Clemson's only complete game in 2002 in a 5-3 victory on Friday. Johnson homered for a 4th straight game and followed with a game-breaking grand slam on Saturday that keyed a 9-6 win. The Tigers completed the sweep of the Boilermakers, then took a 20-8 win over Georgia Southern that set a new Clemson record for team batting average in a single game, .522. After defeating the NCAA tournament-bound Eagles 9-2 a day later, Clemson dropped South Alabama 13-1 in the first of a 3-game set. That win pushed the team's record to 13-0. But the Jaguars ended the perfect mark a day later with a 6-4 win. The Tigers, though, started another 13-game winning streak and bounced back strong in Sunday's series finale with an 11-3 win. That game saw Khalil Green homer in his last at-bat, marking a 5th straight game with a homer, tying a school record. Clemson churned out 26 hits on its way to a 23-5 victory over UNC Asheville, moving Clemson to the top spot in the collegiate baseball and ESPN Baseball Weekly polls, the program's first #1 ranking since 2000. Baseball America would join suit a week later and elevate the Tigers to #1, marking just the 4th time in school history Clemson was ranked #1 by all 3 polls at the same time. The Tigers would hold the unanimous top ranking for 7 weeks, another school record. The team proved it was worthy of praise in its first game as the nation's top team. Clemson scored 12 runs in the 5th inning, the most ever scored in a 5th inning in school history, in a 19-1 victory over Coastal Carolina. Then notched a 6-2 victory over the Chanticleers a day later. The Tigers opened conference play with a 3-game sweep of Maryland, winning the games by a combined score of 36-15. After a 7-1 win over East Tennessee State, the Tigers were tested by Winthrop. The Eagles stayed close and tied the game at 4-4 in the 8th. But Jeff Baker, who had already homered twice in the contest, would not let his team lose. The junior launched a walk-off 2-run homer, giving Clemson an exciting 6-4 win. It was the first 3-homer performance by a Tiger since Shane Monahan in 1993. And the walk-off hit was just a precursor to another game winner for Baker in 2002. The Tigers jumped back into conference play, taking a 6-4 win over NC State despite only 6 hits. Their strong play continued as they took the series finale with a 10-2 win. Two days later, the Tigers were back at Doug Kingsmore Stadium to face SEC foe Georgia. Freshman catcher Colin Mahoney was the hero in a 6-5 win. Clemson fell behind 4-0, but took its first lead of the game in the 8th when Colin Mahoney blasted a 2-run home run. Victories over Western Carolina and Furman precluded another visit by the Tigers to Columbia to again face the Gamecocks. Solid pitching helped to lead Clemson to a 4-1 victory as Matt Henry allowed just 1 run in 7 innings, and Columbia native Patrick Hogan earned his 2nd save of the season. Third-ranked Wake Forest then came to town for another ACC showdown. Took the opener 4-2. A 5-3 Tiger win on Saturday set up a pivotal Game 3 that saw freshman Tyler Lumsden make his first collegiate start. And how the left-hander did shine, allowing no runs on 4 hits while striking out 7 over 7 1/3 innings. He combined with Henry for a 4-0 shutout victory. The trio of Jeff Baker, Khalil Green, and Michael Johnson each homered against Western Carolina for a 2nd time in 2002 in a 12-4 win. Despite the win and the strong play by Clemson throughout the season, the Tigers limped into St. Petersburg, Florida for the ACC tournament. However, Leggett rallied his troops just in time. First up was Georgia Tech and Chris Goodman, who had stymied the Tigers in Atlanta. But Tiger bats would not be denied in the opener, and Steve Reba came up big as Clemson dropped the Yellow Jackets 10-0. After a loss to Florida State, the Tigers bounced back to eliminate NC State 5-3 behind another strong outing from Tyler Lumsden, and played their way into the ACC championship game with an 8-6 win over Wake Forest that saw Jeff Horrigan notch his first career win. The title game once again matched the Tigers and the Seminoles. Patrick Hogan made his first start of the year, pitched well, allowing only 2 earned runs over 6 innings. But Florida State's Mark LaMacchia pitched 8 innings of 1-run ball to lead the Seminoles to the conference crown. Green, Johnson, and Reba were named to the All-ACC tournament team as a part of Clemson's successful trip to Florida. The selections came after the announcement of the All-ACC team, which included first-team selections Khalil Green, who was also named ACC Player of the Year, Michael Johnson, and Steve Reba. and second-team selections Jeff Baker, Matt Henry, and Russell Triplett. Despite falling short again versus the Seminoles, the Tigers had reestablished their confidence as they headed into the NCAA tournament as the nation's number 2 seed. Clemson once again played host to a regional as the top seed and opened against number 4 seed Georgia Southern, a team it dominated in 2 regular season meetings. The Tigers picked up where they left off and set a school NCAA tournament record with 6 home runs in a 15-1 win. Henry did not allow an earned run as Clemson got past number 2 seed East Carolina 4-2 and into the regional championship game. The Tigers and the Pirates squared off again, but the rematch was no contest. Zane Green homered on the game's first pitch and put Clemson on the way to a 21-1 victory. The Tigers scored 12 runs in the 6th, the most runs in a single NCAA tournament inning by a Tiger team. Khalil Green garnered tournament MVP honors, joined by Zane Green, Steve Reba, Matt Henry, Jeff Baker, Jared Schmidt, and Kyle Frank on the Clemson Regional All-Tournament team. Now, all that stood between Clemson and Omaha was a feisty Arkansas team that advanced out of the Wichita, Kansas Regional as a number 3 seed. But after dropping the first game of this best-of-3 series, the Tigers fought tooth and nail to stave off elimination and take an 8-7 win on Saturday night. Matt Henry allowed 3 earned runs in 7 innings, helping the Tigers to an 8-5 lead before Arkansas scored 2 runs in the 9th. After the Razorbacks put a runner on with 1 out, Leggett went to the bullpen and called on B.J. Lemura, who struck out the only 2 batters he faced to end the game and keep the Tiger season alive. Game 3 proved to be another nail-biter as the teams entered the 8th inning knotted at 4-4. Johnson broke the tie with a solo shot in the 8th. Zane Green homered in the 9th. And then Khalil Green homered in his last at-bat at Doug Kingsmore Stadium, sending Clemson to Omaha and the College World Series with a 7-4 win. Lemura was once again the hero on the mound, this time earning the win after striking out 6 and allowing only 1 hit in 4 1/3 innings. The Tigers were making their 10th trip to the College World Series and faced a stiff opening test in hometown Nebraska, which was making its 2nd straight appearance. Clemson dug itself an early 7-2 hole and then battled all night to dig out of it. Green continued his torrid postseason, cutting the deficit to 1 in the 6th inning with a 3-run homer. The Tigers took their first lead of the game in the 7th when Khalil Green came to bat. Nebraska brought in a new pitcher to face college baseball's best player, but Khalil sent the first pitch he saw towering over the left field fence for a 3-run homer. The Cornhuskers later tied the score, but Clemson threatened in the bottom of the 9th. Green was intentionally walked to bring up Jeff Baker, who came through with his 2nd walk-off game-winning hit of the season. It plated David Slevin, giving Clemson an 11-10 victory. The win set up a 5th meeting with Georgia Tech, and once again the Tigers had the right stuff against the Yellow Jackets. Johnson and Roberto Valiente each notched 2 hits in the 2nd inning that saw the Tigers score 8 runs. Georgia Tech slowly climbed back into the game, closing to within 8-6 before a solo homer by Michael Johnson. The Yellow Jackets put 1 runner on with 1 out in the 9th when Eric Patterson ripped a line drive headed for the left center field gap. But Khalil Green, who saw his 34-game hit streak snapped in the contest, made a leaping catch for the ages that saved a sure double. Matt Henry then made a stab of a grounder heading for center field to pick up the save as Clemson was off to its first 2-0 start ever in the College World Series. Despite their great start, the Tigers fell just short of the national championship. Clemson finished tied for 3rd in the country, which tied for the best finish in school history. Green won every National Player of the Year award in 2002 as well, and became the all-time NCAA leader in doubles with 95. He also finished his 4-year Tiger career with 403 hits, 2nd all-time in NCAA history. Khalil Green, who was taken the 13th pick in the Major League Draft, was one of 8 Tigers drafted in 2002. Joining Khalil as All-Americans from this squad, Jeff Baker, Michael Johnson, Matt Henry, and Steve Reba. After falling just short of the College World Series in 2001, the Tigers had returned with a vengeance in 2002 and made their fourth trip in 9 years to Omaha under Jack Leggett. The team won 50 games for just the 10th time in school history, and the 54-17 record tied for the third most wins in a single season. Clemson was ranked number 1 in the country for 2 months during the season, more than any other school, and finished third in every poll, the highest ever finish for the Clemson baseball program. It had truly been a season to remember.